Welcome to my channel, Manning Psych and Health, and this video is about how to survive with long COVID-19. So before we dive into the details of the video, I want to start off by defining what long COVID implies for folks that are unaware. And in essence, long COVID refers to post-infection symptoms that may persist for weeks, months, or even years after a person has tested negative for COVID-19. It may also be referred as chronic COVID or post-COVID symptoms. Fatigue, heart palpitations, brain confusion, and breathing difficulties are just a few of the typical symptoms of long COVID, which can continue to harm individuals even after they have recovered from infection, according to the CDC. Reflecting the recency of this condition, it turns out that long COVID still has a lot to be discovered. Although eating the appropriate foods won't cure long-term COVID, experts say diet and nutrition could be crucial in assisting those who have it to cope. It has been observed in recent studies that patients with long-term COVID-19 contend with persistent symptoms and rising medical costs. It turns out, according to one specialist, that more than a third of Mayo Clinic patients with chronic COVID have difficulty with some of life's most fundamental functions, including dressing, taking a shower, and eating. Just like I mentioned earlier, according to experts, there is still much to learn about long-term COVID, but nutrition is a key factor at this moment, since it's still a new disease. And we are going to reveal some foods to eat and avoid if you are seeking for strategies to manage the symptoms of long-term COVID. And I hope you keep tuned. The first strategy to managing the symptoms of long-term COVID is incorporating the Mediterranean-style diet. A balanced diet, particularly the Mediterranean diet, which is high in vegetables, fruits, olive oil, nuts, and whole grains, is stressed by experts as being important for good overall health. As for the nutrition nuts, you may well be aware that the powerhouses of vitamins and minerals are particularly found in fruits and vegetables. One keynote to take into consideration is that though the Mediterranean style diet emphasizes fruits and vegetables, fish and chicken are both health choices, so it doesn't imply you should avoid meat or other sources of protein. Irrespective of the importance of the Mediterranean type diet, which of course emphasizes on fruits and vegetables, it's also very crucial to ensure that we consume adequate protein like fish or chicken, because poor protein intake might create fatigue, and like I mentioned earlier, fatigue is one of the most common symptoms of long COVID. So we have to ensure that we need to avoid kind of escalating the situation. So if you don't get enough protein in your diet, it won't help, because instead somebody might have to experience one condition of fatigue, which is not a good experience to deal with in the first place. One thing to note about fatty fish consumption like tuna and salmon is that they have an abundance of omega-3 fatty acids, which can benefit cardiovascular health. As most of you are well aware, dieting is quite a challenge in itself, and with this in mind, instead of concentrating on superfoods, the focus should be on developing a well-rounded super diet, because it is been proven that superfoods are foods that are high in health components like fatty acids, fiber, and antioxidants. As a highlight of the benefits of the Mediterranean diet, it's been noted that it's a fantastic diet that will aid you in the battle against chronic illnesses. And your best defense will be when all the vitamins and minerals are working together. The second strategy for managing symptoms of long-term COVID is watching out for vitamin deficiency, as we'll discover in the preceding slides. Although specific vitamins have not been proven to be effective in the treatment of long-term COVID, one expert emphasized the need of treating vitamin deficiencies. For instance, he explained a lack of vitamin B12 can cause symptoms like exhaustion, breathlessness, and mental confusion. Iron-containing minerals are also crucial. According to a new study, those with lengthy COVID may experience issues with how their bodies use and store iron. Anemia and tiredness or fatigue are two of the many signs of iron deficiency. And inadequate intake is one cause of deficiency, but also can be linked to chronic conditions. Since it wouldn't be a smart move to simply consume any supplement that you find, and this is because some of these supplements are likely to interact with some maintenance drugs, especially if you are on high blood pressure medications or on other chronic conditions. The first thing to do is to consult with your healthcare provider if you are concerned about any vitamin or mineral shortages in your body. The third strategy for addressing symptoms of long COVID is maintaining hydration. Staying hydrated is critical for all patients with long-term COVID. People who suffer from acute COVID frequently spend a lot of time sleeping and resting. As a result, this affects their diet, particularly their hydration, says one expert. Mark you, dehydration can make anyone miserable if left untreated, not only individuals dealing with long-haul COVID. Given that patients frequently need reminders to drink water, it is recommended to advise individuals with long COVID to always have a bottle on them. And for those that find plain water to be tasteless, you can also add some fruit like a lemon or lime to improve the flavor. It might be considerably simpler to stay hydrated with these small adjustments. The fourth strategy for addressing long-term COVID symptoms is taking into consideration what not to consume. It is best to avoid anything that will make acute COVID worse because it can lead to quite substantial inflammation in the body. There was a group of patients affected by long COVID, and they noted an increase in inflammatory markers. And as a result of that, one analyst stated that the inflammation is probably a side effect of immune system irregularities, possibly even autoimmune type problems. Inflammation might get worse if you consume red meat and processed foods like sweet drinks and desserts. One crucial message to learn from this last slide that this doctor tries to communicate with his patients, reflecting the fact that we are all humans, that it's good to indulge in treats once in a while, because you can't be perfect at all times. And however, he goes to continue to say that he would rather approach such items as such a pleasure rather than a regular meal. And this goes back to reflect on what we said about the importance of eating the Mediterranean type diet, maintaining hydration, and also ensuring that we take adequate vitamins. And but when it comes to foods like meat, which are likely to cause inflammation, and sweets and desserts, I know we are cautioned to consume them in moderation or at a lower rate than the healthy foods, but it doesn't imply that you have to completely eliminate them out of your diet. So it's good to be cautious of how much we consume, such that at least we don't miss out this pleasure when needed. And this marks the end of the presentation, and I urge you to subscribe, share, and like, and comment, and in anticipation for newer videos in regard to keeping track of your health and psych conditions.